everybody, and welcome. I'm Steph McFee, the community guide at the Growth Shift, and we are so excited to welcome you to a really interesting conversation that we're going to have today on the 3 reasons why a community of peers is necessary for business growth. And today I'm joined by the phenomenal Nancy G. Allen, who is our CEO and president over at the Growth Shift and the Women's Business Development Council of Florida. And we are also honored to have with us one of our amazing, outstanding, stellar stars of members, Andrea Ruiz-Hays, who has a phenomenal story on how she has been leaning into her community of peers and really using that to grow her business. So again, the reason we're here today is that, obviously with everything that's been going on in the world, we've always needed our peers, but I think now more than ever, there's been really a major reason why it's been so difficult for us, more so than ever, because we're so isolated. And yes, we're getting out there now, but things are looking a little bit different. So it's really important to have this conversation. And so we're going to start off by handing over and letting Nancy walk you through why this is such an important conversation to be having. And I'm going to just preface a little bit about this phenomenal woman for those of you who have not had a chance to meet her. So I have been overly joyed and blessed to have known Nancy for just a few years. Most of my career. But Nancy is a world-renowned speaker, about to be a global author, publishing her book in another country. She's got 2 more books coming out this year. And Nancy has been helping women business owners grow, start, and legacy their businesses for over 20 years. So this woman knows her stuff. And so with that, Nancy, I'm going to hand it over to you. And we're excited to talk about this reason. Why do we need a community of peers to help grow our business?
Right. Well, I am so happy to share some knowledge and also learn from everyone who is participating. Let us know what you think. If you have any questions, let us know in the chat and all. So, for the next 20 minutes or so, we're going to be talking about the top 3 reasons you need a community of peers to grow your business. So as most of you know, entrepreneurship is very lonely, and sometimes we feel that we have to make decisions without the benefit of getting some advice. So that's what we're going to be talking about today. But before that, let me just add a little more information to what Steph said about me. And I'll start by just sharing this picture. So as you can see in the picture, it's not a perfect picture. My hair is flying in my face. And this picture was taken at a professional photo shoot. So the first part of the photo shoot, I was standing in those standard professional poses where you're looking straight into the camera, your arms are crossed, one part of your body's leaning forward, how that all goes. And at the end of the shoot, the photographer said, well, would you like let's have some fun. And I had been eyeing this tulle skirt she had on a mannequin. And she said, do you want to put on the tulle skirt? We changed the music. And she and her assistant just started fanning my hair, right? So I would get that nice windswept, blown look. And this picture happened in the middle of 3 shots. The first shot, my hair was not in my face. The second shot is this one. And the third shot, my hair was perfect again. And one of the reasons I love this picture is because it reminds me of how quickly and easily things change, right? So in a split second from the assistant fanning my hair, it was perfect, then not so perfect, then perfect again. And that's kind of like the story of business ownership, right? It can be a journey, and in a matter of a couple of hours, a couple of days, a couple of months, things can shift. But just as I am smiling and happy in this picture, I hope that your journey gives you lots of smiles and happiness. And part of what we want to remind you is that with a community of your peers, a community that's kind of curated with the right people at the right time, you too can have just a fabulous journey that allows you to challenge yourself, to take chances, and especially to celebrate successes. So here's what we're promising you today. We're going to be talking about having a community of peers. I'm going to define what is a community of peers. We're going to share 3 reasons why you need one. And we're also going to share some examples of how and why it works. So what is a community of peers? It's really a group of people that are similar to you based on experiences, background, or other demographic information. So it could be a group that has family-owned businesses. It could be a group that's in different stages of growth. And the similarity might be that you're all women in business who are trying to balance business ownership with family obligations. Why do you need a community of peers? Well, as most of you know, it can be pretty lonely to be the boss and the only decision maker. It can be hard to explore new ideas on your own. How do you answer all the what ifs? And a community of peers can give you some objective feedback. It's one of the biggest benefits of having a community that you can count on to really have your back. So let's talk about business ownership being lonely. It's especially lonely for solopreneurs, right? So those of you out there who are the one person doing everything in your business, you know what that loneliness how that loneliness can affect you. But sometimes if you're the boss and you have a team, but you don't have anybody at your level that you can be discussing things with, it can also be very lonely. So what the community does for you, other women business owners understand what it's like. They have had sleepless nights. They have had to make tough decisions about staff and money, and they have an understanding of the ups and downs that can happen on a daily basis for business owners. So let me share a story with you. Kim, one of our members, runs a successful consulting company. She has 10 employees, 3 of which are family members, her mom, her brother, and her husband. She is surrounded by good staff. She's been in business for 10 years, and some of her staff have been with her throughout those 10 years. They're very experienced. They're also very innovative and creative. And she has people around her who love her, her mom, her brother, and her husband. But she is lonely because she doesn't have an objective sounding board when she has to make hard decisions like letting someone go, or bringing on a new client, or pivoting due to the pandemic. She had no one who doesn't have a direct stake in her business that she could talk to for advice. She felt like everyone was depending on her. Does that sound familiar? So a peer group helped her because there was no judgment, no fear of hurting someone's feelings, and no fear of holding back on tough decisions because not everyone is on board with those decisions. Kim joined our group and she found the advice she needed and got some great ideas from more experienced members of the peer group. She also told us that the best idea and advice she got came from someone who also has family members in her business. So a community of peers can help you. You are not alone. Your business is unique, but guess what? Business development and growth challenges are pretty much universal. Having a safe space to talk things through can really make all the difference. A second reason you should join a peer group is it helps you to explore new ideas. So here's what the community can do for you. They will listen and be supportive. And as I said, we all need a safe space to try new things. So here's another story I'd like to share with you. Have you heard about shiny object or squirrel syndrome? It's when you go from idea to idea to idea and you can't really stay on course, right? Just like the squirrels, right? They're jumping from here to there and back. It happens to creative people, and guess what? Business owners are very creative people. We want to try new things, and sometimes we want to move a little too fast. So a community of peers knows what that's like. They will celebrate your innovation and creativity, and they will remind you to slow down and remember what your real goal is when you said and how you said you wanted to get there, right? So your peer group is going to hold you accountable. Having a safe space to explore new ideas is really important. That became really apparent during the early days of the pandemic when we were all uncertain and scared about what was happening and what it would mean. So we started hosting evening peer group discussions in our different regions. We witnessed tears of frustration, we witnessed anger and suspicion, and we witnessed aha moments as new ideas for business development were born. We also witnessed the creation of strategic alliances and joint ventures. That's the great thing about women business owners. We support each other and are happy to share and connect, and we help each other connect the dots. Here's a third reason, objective feedback, right? That's a third reason you need a community of peers. So what can a community do for you? It provides feedback that comes from a place of support and experience. So here's another story. One of our members tells us that objective feedback is what they really appreciate most about our peer groups, right? Remember Kim from our first story? It turns out that she knew her brother was not happy working for her. She knew it, her brother knew it, but her mom kept saying, you can't let him go, he's family. The peer group was a great and objective sounding board because they helped Kim look at the pros and cons and helped her come up with a plan of action that worked for everyone involved. Sometimes you just need a nudge. Sometimes you need a plan of action. Sometimes you need a focus group as you explore new ideas. A community of peers will help with all of that and more. So I've told you the three reasons, and now I am really happy to introduce one of our members, Andrea Ruiz-Hays. I'm going to invite Andrea to share her story and how she's benefited from being part of our peer group. Andrea?
Hi, good morning. Thanks for having me here. And Nancy, I always love hearing you share stories and examples, not only from your experience, but as well as other women in the business. And Stephanie, thank you for inviting me here this afternoon. I'm honored to be here, but I just love that you've given me the opportunity just to share about what my experience has been with this growth shift and the membership and all of the resources. That's really what I want to talk about. And you already started to address them. As yes, there is a network of peer groups, but it's even more than that. I have created friendships, and even through this past year of crazy virtual world, and we're going to continue that way in some ways it works still. I am looking forward to more in-person opportunities. But I will tell you, I have utilized, I think, every single tool that you've put on there, whether that be a link to a TED Talk, a video that you've put out yourself, reading to do as well. And there is even some topics that I thought I was a little bit of a subject matter expertise in, but I enjoyed what you put there because it gave another perspective of thought, right? And that sometimes even when we're in a position where I'm leading a sustainability organization, I acknowledge that there's other ways of doing business and having those, I call them aha moments. And whether that's, again, through the resources that you've published, but also really through those conversations. And I've been in this group now for a little while. I've been certified for over a year with my sustainability consulting firm as a women business owner, but the relationships that I've made, and not only on the conversations from your Wednesdays or Friday discussions, or whether it's on Clubhouse, and being able to have those candid, real conversations, and whether I'm someone that's just listening in, or I'm seeing the chat that happens where people are asking and posing real life scenario questions. And I've tried to take all of that to heart, because I am still a startup. I consider myself to be in a business, and maybe probably as something I say here, and I'm chuckling now to think about it. As a woman business owner, you're probably always in startup mode in some way, right? So you're having to make sure that you reinvent yourself, or reinvent your services, or making sure that you're staying fresh and live. So there's probably in some way that there's that entrepreneurial startup spirit that always needs to stay alive in you. But realizing there's, like, as you said, the network of people that are around you and who you can reach out to. I don't know, I could certainly go on. I didn't know if there were specific questions, because I've got loads of answers and examples that I'd love to share.
Mm-hmm. Well, Andrea, I think one of the things that you touched on is, you know, even though you're a subject matter expert, there were things that were brought to the group, and probably in the discussion part of the group, that gave you some aha moments as well, right? So that's always the thing about working with peer groups and working in community is, you know what we know, and we don't really know what we don't know, right? Until someone maybe offers a different way of looking at things, maybe offers some new advice. And that's the great thing about women business owners, is we just generally are nurturing, right? And we like to connect the dots. So you may say something and it reminds me of something that happened to me, or reminds me of something that may have happened to someone else. And from there, we come back and share experiences, right?
Yeah, I think it's the trust, right? The group, the network there. You can relax your shoulders, and you can have real talk, and you could say, help me out here. I don't understand this. Or, as you've often talked to us about growing, and, you know, when to scale the business. And there was a conversation, I would say it was about 3 or 4 weeks ago, and you were talking about scaling and how to know and when to scale your business and things to consider. And there's been some times where I've thought, okay, yeah, what would I do? And the conversation that we had there was wonderful. And I really enjoyed learning from others, because that's another opportunity too. Not only do I have a safe space to ask real situational questions where I know no one will judge me, or I could say, gosh, I don't know what I should be doing here. Have you all gone through this? Or listening and knowing that some of the conversations that these other women are having, that someday I will probably have that, and trying to learn from others in the conversations that are being had.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Beautiful. So the group, the program that we're all talking about is the Growth Shift membership program, right? And it's a program that we developed over the course of many years of doing some one-on-one coaching. And we decided, well, you know what, one-on-one coaching is great, and we still do that. I still do a lot of one-on-one coaching, and our team members help out. But we also saw that, you know, one of the biggest ways, as we're looking at scaling businesses, as we're looking at growing businesses, one of the biggest ways to do that is to get corporate contracts, right? The corporations are looking to do business with women-owned companies, and they have, through their supplier diversity initiatives, special programs and opportunities for women-owned businesses. So we've decided that the Growth Shift membership is going to be a 12-month program where we take you through 12 months of things you need to have in place in order to bid on a corporate contract. We started with this month in May, right? talking about your digital presence, right? It's all about your digital presence. And our corporate partners over the years have shared with us that when you bid on a contract with them, one of the very first things they do is they go take a look at your website. And sadly, some people don't get past that first level of review if their website doesn't look like it can support the level of e-commerce, or even doesn't look all that new, right? Many of us, we love a certain color, we love a certain logo, and we keep that color and logo for years and years without changing it. Well, you can still use blue and gold if those are your colors, but you can mute the blue, brighten the gold, mute the gold, brighten the blue. You can do a lot to give it an update and a refresh, right? And it all has to do with what we're used to seeing. So, you know, if you've gone out and to look at painting rooms in your house, you probably see the same blue and gold colors, but they look a little bit different every couple of years. And your website should also look a little bit different every couple of years. It's important to keep your fonts fresh. It's important to keep your About Us section fresh. So over the course of the month of May, we're all looking at your digital presence. And let me just go quickly through the other 11 months and remind everybody that the thing about landing contracts to grow your business is it's all about building relationships, and those take a long time to build. One of the things that our members, brand new members to our groups, have told us is they really appreciate that our more seasoned members confess, are candid about the fact that it took them 3 years to get a contract from start to finish, right? When they first met the person at one of our events, they developed a relationship, they saw the person again at another event, further developed the relationship, and then from there, moved on to finally being able to bid the first time, bid the second time, bid the third time. So it's really about relationship building, because people do business with people they know, they like, and they trust. And as the slide says here, you don't have to do it alone, right? A community is beneficial to you, and you in that community are beneficial to others. So quickly, let me tell you what we have on the schedule for the next 12 months. And these are 12 things, as I said, that our corporates have told us you need to have prepared in order to successfully bid on a contract. So we talked about the digital presence. A second thing is your capability statement. Your capability statement is the bio, like the resume of your business. So it's important that it looks kind of like a resume. It's got white space, it's got a photo of you, it's got key information about you and your business. And we're going to talk about the 12 elements of a really great capability statement. A sustainability statement, again, we've been told by our corporate members, for them, sustainability is key. And here are the things that you should be considering as you're putting together your sustainability statement. We're going to show you how to claim expert status. That's going to happen in August. Claiming expert status means you write a white paper or you do a short video. It's something that's going to help set you apart, and we'll give you some tips and tools on how you can easily do that. Getting certified, for those of you who join us who are not certified, getting certified as a woman business enterprise, a WBE, is really, really important, because that'll set you apart. And you can also get many different kinds of certification, right? You can be a service disabled veteran. You can be part of the LGBTQ community. You can be SBA certified, woman-owned small business certified. The more certifications, minority certified, the more certifications you have, the better. We're going to talk in October about how to get registered. What does that actually mean? to get registered for to work with a corporation. There's a portal that you have to go to. We'll explain all that to you. We'll tell you how to get on the portal, what to say where, and how to keep it updated. We're going to show you also in November how to do research, because there are things on corporate websites that you should include in your presentation, right? When you're meeting with corporates, they want to know that you understand them and you understand their language, you understand the way they do business. All of that is revealed on their website, and we're going to show you how to do the research. Then there's something called vendor open houses. So before bids are finalized, a lot of corporations have an open house where you can go and ask questions about the bid, about the opportunity. Many times they have their prime contractors there. Those are the people who have the main contract, and it's an opportunity for you to meet with the prime contractors and offer yourself as a second-tier supplier, someone who can handle a subcontract. And if you're minority certified or woman-owned certified, you have a leg up with the primes because they have to meet supplier diversity requirements. We're going to talk to you about how to prepare for matchmakers. Those are opportunities for growing your business. And a lot of our members have told us that that's how they first started the relationship that ultimately led to a contract was by having a matchmaker meeting. So we're going to talk to you about the different elements of a matchmaker, how to figure out who you're really talking to, and their decision-making capacity. And we'll also give you some pointers on how to do some great follow-up. Preparing your pitch. You know, we have lots of opportunities for you to pitch directly to corporate partners through our affiliations. We work with many different organizations that promote women-owned businesses and women business development, and many of them have pitch opportunities. And so we always can show you, you know, what you can do to make your pitch stand out. Second tier opportunities, again, through supplier diversity. You don't have to get the prime contract to make a pretty good profit. We have members in our group who have never been the prime contractor, but they have multi-million-dollar businesses. So there's lots of opportunities, especially if you are working with someone who has a federal contract, right? Or a statewide or a region-wide contract. And then finally, we're going to talk about onboarding the client. So with these 12 things that we're going to show you, these 12 elements of how to go from I have no contract now to I want to get the contract, but I want to be ready over the 12-month period, we'll be able to get your business ready to bid on a corporate contract. We'll also have a Shift Now program where we can do all of this with you one-on-one in a 3-month period. So all that to say, we are here to help you, and you don't have to do it alone. So let me, I love this quote. It says, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. And that's a beautiful African proverb. And so one of our community guides is Steph McFee, and she will be your point of contact. So what if we could introduce you to a community of like-minded people who are business owners and who have faced the very same questions? A place where you could learn how to get a corporate contract, hear from women who have done it, and hear from corporate representatives. So we've been doing this for a very long time, over 20 years, and we've got contacts with people at Disney, with people at IBM, with people at UPS, and locally and regionally, we have all sorts of contacts. And so we want to be able to help you, right? And so I'm going to ask Steph if she can take over here and talk about the actual Growth Shift membership. And Steph, I kind of preempted some of the conversation by going over the 12 components of how to get a corporate contract, but I know you have more information to share. So take it away.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much, Nancy. And yes, and Andrea as well. Thank you for sharing your stories. And I will add to that because I think it's also important to know as we get into talking a little bit about the Growth Shift membership is that this has come about not only because of Nancy's phenomenal leadership and the things that she has been seeing women business owners, but she has built a team that is also business owners. So those of us that are coaches in the Growth Shift and work with Nancy are business owners. So it's amazing because it's to what Andrea said, I mean, it's real life applicable things of what we're going through and what we're looking for. And then Nancy's like, let's build it. So I just think that's one of the great things to talk about here. So if we can go to the next slide. I forgot you were driving. So what's included in the membership? And as Nancy said, what we have decided to do is go through theming each month. And that way we can really dig into the content going on in that month. And to her point, we talked about digital presence, and each week we do that. So each month has a theme, and right now we're focusing on the 12 elements of getting corporate contracts, because once again, that's what we're hearing from our members. That's what everybody wants. That's what we need in order to grow our business. And so we're going to be digging into those 12 elements, one each month. Then within that monthly theme, we have weekly content. And so each week there's a piece of content, and you heard Andrea say, whether it's a YouTube video or an article we share or our own videos and conversation. We like tip sheets, we do assessment sheets. There's all kinds of things that go along, and each week you get a piece of content that will support that month's theme. We do have a Facebook community right now, and we are launching a online private community within the portal as well. And that's really where the peer interactions can happen on a daily basis, as much as you want, posting, putting out things, really engaging with each other, asking questions, putting examples. We're a big one about put examples of what we're talking about that month so we can help each other. And then one of, I know my favorite things, even as someone getting the pleasure to serve this community, is our monthly calls with Nancy. And because these are just for our group members, they are in a group setting. And also Andrea alluded to the fact about listening to each other in these, because we are very, very fortunate. We have such a phenomenal community of women. It's very comfortable, it feels very safe, and we share everything. And also what we find then comes from that is collaboration, opportunities to work together or just support each other. All the time we hear, hey, I can help you with that, or I might know somebody that can help you with that. So not only Nancy leading that conversation and us being able to tap into her experiences, but also the opportunity that we can engage with each other.
Mm-hmm. So Steph, let me ask Andrea if she will share what it feels like to be able to share knowledge, right? So you joined the group and you gain knowledge, but what is it, how does it actually feel when you're the one who's sharing some knowledge?
Yeah, that always feels good. In fact, I think it feels best when you know that your experiences, your expertise, or your own trials and tribulations can help navigate somebody else, right? I mean, we all have things to learn as we work through our business and our business models, but it feels good to help, right? In the end, you know, we all are here for each other, as you said, a network, but really I call it friends because we're such a support mechanism, and it absolutely feels phenomenal to be able to help another women business owner. And honestly, it's wonderful to see, and I'll liken it to sometimes a mentor-mentee relationship. It's not always that the most seasoned ones are the ones giving advice or tips. Sometimes it's people who are in a startup mode that are assisting those of us that have been in it for a little while. And that balance is healthy too, right? And making sure that we're considering everything. And certainly there are things that I know I'm not an expert in, but hearing from others that have already navigated it, again, a nice healthy balance of perspectives and backgrounds it's wonderful. But being someone who's been able to share some advice and things that I've done, worked through, and knowing that I'm talking to somebody who values my input, that feels really good too. It's validating.
And I think we've heard from others say to us, when you do something day in and day out, you think that everybody knows how that really works, right? And you tend to kind of devalue yourself and your knowledge because it's so ingrained, right? But when you're able to share, it kind of gives you a boost to say, oh yeah, I do have expertise in that. Yes, the many years that I have put in, whether it's as the business owner or, working for someone else and getting that experience, that is valuable stuff. And it's always nice to get a boost of confidence. So thanks for sharing that, Andrea.
Yep, absolutely.
I'll also add a piece that comes out of it, and I know you've witnessed this, Andrea, is the accountability. And I will just brag a little bit on our Nancy here. We've had a member who has been on our calls for the past few months. And I think, Nancy, you kept saying, do this, do this, do this. And I think finally on the fourth time, she says, oh my gosh, I've heard it 4 times now, I'm going to go do it. So it was amazing. Again, that accountability and the opportunity just to say, I want to change, to have an idea, and then to have the group be supportive. And to the point, like nobody said, oh gosh, quit reminding me. It was like, you're right, I got to go do that. That's important for my business. So just another thing that I've seen come out of our group that I think is awesome.
Beautiful. All right.
Perfect. Okay, so one of the things is Nancy mentioned is the capability statement, and we just finished a challenge that we've been working on with some of our prospective members. And the reason I think a lot of people don't realize how important your capability statement is, some people do, but we do get that question, like, why is this the thing? Think about when in the days when you had a job, right, a job, what was your most important thing? It was your resume. And so this is like the resume for your business. This needs to have so many key elements in order for the corporate or the government entity, wherever it is that you are putting in to potentially do business, they need to be able to look at that and to get a good overview of your business. And so it is key and critical. And it's also what they continually tell us that our members need to work on to make sure that it has the elements, because then they also use that to then help tell the story and to get you in front of the right buyers. So if you are, for example, as Andrea mentioned, we also do work with WeBank and do women-owned certification. If you are certified, you get to go through the supplier diversity, but they do need a killer capability statement because they're going to be using that to get you in front of the right people. So as a bonus for anyone that is joining our membership going forward, you're going to have a chance to actually get your capability statement reviewed by Nancy. And I will tell you, I have heard, I don't know how many times, by just a couple of tweaks, made the difference in somebody really grasping and getting that capability statement for the right person. So we can speak from experience about how critical and how important it is to actually get it reviewed and to get some great feedback. And then, so let's do this. And this is actually one of my biggest things. So one of the things that I think as women, so often we say, why should I do this? Or why would that happen to me? Or why, right? We ask why a lot. So we're going to have you change the conversation in your head right now. So why would you not, right? So think about it this way. Why would you not want to learn what you need to get a corporate contract, right? Why would we not want to learn that? Not why would someone give me one, right? Change the conversation in your head. Why would you not want to have a community of peers that supports and cheers you on? Because isn't that what we all want? Why would you not want to have access to winning strategies from women who have done it? And Andrea mentioned this as well. We do a Wednesday session where we share winning strategies, but we're also posting those into the portal, and we're going to have more opportunity for our members to share things that are helping them win and what's really working for them. And then why would you not want to get insider tips from corporates? As you heard us mention quite a few times, this was entirely built. I shouldn't say entirely, but a lot of this was built because of the feedback we were getting from those people you want to do business with on what you need to be doing. in order to get in front of them and for them to help promote your business. So we have taken those tips, and we are now going to be putting in there interviews from our corporates and different things so that you can have a chance. And as Andrea knows, sometimes they even give us your email so you can get in touch with them. So again, don't ask why. Why would I do this? Really ask, why would you not want to do this? And as we mentioned, are you ready to join us? So what we've built over here at the Growth Shift is, of course, based on our CEO, Nancy G. Allen, but she has also brought together a phenomenal team of coaches. To Andrea's point, some of us have been in business for a multitude of years. Some of us have come out of, like myself, out of the supplier diversity corporate arena and now come into coaching and having a business. So we all have an area of expertise. We've got Diane Sears, who is our media guru, really. She owns a magazine. She has helped people publish books, including the ones Nancy's published. And so this woman knows that if it's about media, she knows. We've got Joanna Sanchez in the middle there in the pink. And Joanna is really our organization guru. This woman is amazing at how to blend all of the elements of your life. She has incredible tools. She also has launched a phenomenal business and has had a successful blog. So, and balancing all this while being a mom to 3 young boys. So absolutely amazing, and has great tips on how to really keep your sanity while you're running your business. Carmen down in the blue, she comes to us from a retail background, and she is just stellar. She knows what you need to be saying in front of those corporates, and is also highly connected. And then myself, I am the guide. And so what I do is I work on all the communications that our community sees, ensuring that the experience is what our members need and that they are getting to everything that they need. So that is my position. And then also the things that I coach on is around communications. And so let's talk a little bit about the value as we kind of bring this thing home. And so again, Nancy talked about the whole reason we're here are 3 reasons why a community of peers is so critical to business growth. And it really is about, the value here is this objective feedback. We mentioned accountability partners and having that support and encouragement. And I know for me, there are mistakes, and Andrea mentioned this, as I've started my business and now as I grow, there are things that I hear, and I know that has saved me probably hundreds, if not thousands of dollars by just listening to what one of our members in our community has said. Hey, I did this, don't do it. Or I've heard of a friend who did this, don't do it. Or do this instead of that. So the value is just amazing at listening. And then also, like Nancy mentioned about, trying things out and saying, hey, here, I have an idea. What do you think? And so, it's just, the value is incredible there from the community.
Mm-hmm. So Andrea, did you want to share something else about the value?
Oh, yes. I think you might have done. I don't have my watch on here for this, but when Stephanie was sharing about saving money, maybe also, but also your time, right? And we can certainly quantify what our time is worth in immediate, dollar wise, but honestly, as a business owner, if somebody can save me the headache or just a quick tip of something, I think that's where also we need to learn to lead with our strengths. I know we hear that a lot. We try to share that with each other, but if somebody's giving good, wise advice, or like I said earlier, I'm always all ears, because I'm aware that at any point, the discussion of what other people are going through or sharing could be me next month, 3 months from now, a year from now, or it's just good things to be aware of. And maybe there's a way that we can even avoid. I know we're talking a lot about challenges, but we can also be participating in these opportunities and learning how to grow the business, different models and revenue streams. I think that we've all learned this, of how to diversify your revenue streams, even if it's just in small segments, but making sure that you have more than one revenue stream is a good, healthy balance to making sure that your organization is sustainable and can ride through the difficult times.
Oh my gosh. And I will add, Andrea, just you mentioned this. The other thing is hearing experiences people had. And Andrea is one of the most amazing women I have seen in the past year of starting her business and growing, taking advantage of things that are put in front of her. She is one of our pitch gurus soon, because she has competed in so many of them and made it even to the final rounds. And so I think that's another thing that has been just so great about watching your journey and listening to you. And then as a person over here sitting here going, wow, kind of taking my notes, right? Look at what Andrea's doing. And it's a great example to follow.
Oh, thank you for sharing that. And at times I honestly, some of those I didn't even give enough thought that if I probably had, I would have scared myself. But we do have to be bold and courageous and willing to try things that aren't our norm. Or I also too realized, well, in one of the pitches, yes, I did go with the finals. I did not win the grant given, but good golly, that gave me a position to be in front of many other corporations. And I think it was almost like 300 people that were watching as participants. Someday, and I think actually I've received a couple calls because of that, and that was last fall. So we never know, what that's going to do and how that might inspire thought. And I try my best when I'm blogs or interviews, that I'm also putting that out too, and realizing even some of the work and services that I offer can be overwhelming, but making sure that people can digest the information in a way to understand, what does that mean? So earlier when you're talking about the capability statement, that's another good one too. You write all these sub bullets. If the sub bullets are no good and people still don't understand, well, then that didn't serve you well. You've got to make sure that your message is clear and that people can immediately understand, okay, I know what you do. And here, let me connect you.
Oh, love it. Fantastic. Okay. And so, yeah, Andrea, that was great segue into the content.
Oh, sorry.
And no, don't apologize. No, look at that. We're so in sync over here. And so, yeah, the content is definitely, it's curated content. So it is very streamlined. We outline the steps to get the corporate contracts. We're going to give you the tips from successful women and tips from the corporate representatives, right? So, and this happens monthly because we feature a different corporate each month and a different woman business owner each month. Oh. And so, let's see, Nancy, can you get to the next slide? I think they get stuck. So you may be thinking, I don't have time for this. And it's funny, Andrea just mentioned that, because I think that's the first thing so many of us go to is, I don't have time. I don't have time to add this into my day. And so one of the things that we also do is we make sure that it is in nice chunks and that it's easily digestible information. So it only takes you a few minutes to look at the content each week. And what you do with it from there is really based on your time and what you can. Also, it lives there. So you can go back into the portal at other times. Say if right now this week isn't a good week, next week you can catch up. So we have made a commitment to make sure that it is not huge amounts of content. It's very easy. We put a video up there to kind of guide you through it. We'll have links in there, but we always try to walk you through and really support you. The other part of this is, how do I know if this is the right community for me? And Nancy kind of talked about that at the very, very beginning of this, because what you want to think about is, what is it that would really be beneficial to you? And again, the community of peers is the whole point of that, is because they have either been there or they're going through it at the same time. And so you want to consider looking for a community that is like that. And even within our community, I'm a single mom to a young girl at a much older age with a new business. And, and I'm just honest about that and put it out there, and we'll find within our community people. But it doesn't matter, because at the end of the day, we all have something, whether we're caregivers, whether we have a business that's 20 years. I have a client I'm working with, a 20-year-old business, and she's looking to start something new. And so you really just write down your goals, look at it, what you need support in. And but at the end of the day, the best way to know is, I'd say, just jump on in and come work with us. So the other part about this is time spent on your business will always reap rewards. Nancy says this all the time. Another thing about that accountability. So imagine having a plan that you can implement with confidence. So again, just like this month, looking at digital presence, I mean, we outlined it very simply, go look at this. And here's a checklist to kind of look at the things you need to do. So instead of having to really go, oh my gosh, I don't even know where to start on my digital presence and make sure that I'm ready to get that corporate contract, we've said, here you go. Here's the plan. Here's what you need to look at, and here's what you need to pick, and here's where you need to focus. And so imagine knowing that you have a plan that outlines all that, right? I mean, how much time would that save you versus having to go do it, because you're going to have to do the work anyway. And so time spent on your business always reaps rewards. And remember, you don't have to do it alone. It can seem so lonely. I'm a solopreneur. But even if you're not, remember, if you want to go fast, go alone. And if you want to go far, you have to go together. And Nancy said, this is one of our favorite quotes. And it is so true. You can go so much further with other people surrounding you and supporting you and cheering you on and championing you. So I guess our big question is, are you ready to shift your business growth? And that's what we're all about here. We are really all about this idea that the name says it. It's about the growth shift. And it's all about shifting, whether it be your mindset, which is where we start. We have a great ebook Nancy has written on that, getting into growing into scaling your business, shifting into getting a corporate contract. We want to be there to support you through every growth shift.
Right. Well, thank you, Andrea, for sharing with us. From a member perspective, it's one thing for those of us who designed the group and run the group to tell everyone how great it is, because we know we packed a lot of information and all. But thank you for participating with us and giving a great testimonial of how you've been able to take advantage of the group. And I guess I'll end by saying, everyone is welcome, whether you're brand new to business, whether you're thinking about, you're working for somebody else right now and you're thinking about starting your business. It's never too early and it's never too late, right? To join us, because we are committed to a vision of economic independence for women. And one of the best ways to have that happen is through business ownership. So we hope you'll join us.
Thank you so much again, Andrea. And thank you, everybody. And we hope to see you in the growth shift. Bye.